Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. We're back again. It's a Monday night, which means Skip Barber Monday Lights Racing Series is on, and we're coming to you live tonight from Zolder Raceway. We've got a good commentary team up here with me tonight, which is fantastic, so I'd like to introduce Ian Bevan and Luke Emerton. So guys, it looks like we're going to be in for an interesting night.
Yeah, thanks, Bernie. Yeah, I'm just looking at the field now. This is a pretty strong field and a pretty tough track. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. We've got 3 splits tonight, and the top split, which we're covering, it has 16 drivers in it, so it's a great turnout. I think, Luke, we had about 37 drivers turn up for this.
Yeah, there's been some strong fields all night, Bernie. I did the earlier race at 8:15, and I'm pretty sure we had about 30 odd registered for that as well, with a couple of splits. And again, we're seeing another 3 splits this round, so definitely a pretty popular series at the moment, and some great racing as you saw last week, and there's some good racing in the earlier splits, so should be up some good action for the main race tonight.
Yeah, if anything, last week, let's start again. If last week was anything to go by, we're definitely in for a great race tonight. And just having a look at our point score at the moment, for those new to the series, just joining us, the way the Skip Barber Monday Lights work is points are allocated to the top 2 splits, and based on positions where they finish after the season, all the points are tallied, and we have our Skip Barber Monday Lights champion for the season. So at the moment, Angelo Solura is leading the way on 162 points. Then we have Enzo Cantor there on 140 points. Ben Conroy sitting in third on 138. Then we've got Joel Petrowski on 135 points. And then rounding out our top 5 is Cody Bird on 124 points. So, Ian, it looks like the Europeans are leading the championship at the moment.
Well, yes, they are, and there's a strong European contingent. In this, in fact, the top 4 or 5 drivers in the race tonight are all from Europe. I'm just looking at a couple of names there. Simon Schultz, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Schultz, possibly German, is, I think, the championship leader in the overall official Skip Barber series, and has proved himself to be pretty much the fastest driver of the series. And Enzo Cantor, last time I looked, was in the top 4 or 5 as well. Those guys have got their work cut out tonight.
Yeah, they certainly do, and we're looking at the top 10 at the moment, folks. This is qualifying. Enzo Cantor's leading the way with a 1:45.013. Simon Schultz is second, and I think Simon's from Germany. Enzo's from Italy. Then we've got Darryl Ridley up there sitting in third at the moment, followed by Angelo Solura in fourth. Fifth is Anton Reiger. I'm not sure where he's from. Then we have Dennis Johansson, Luke Whitten, and Kevin Henderson sitting in 8th, 9th, Timothy Butler, then Russell Clark rounds out our top 10 at the moment. So guys, we had an interesting episode here last week. Anyone that tuned in, we had Angelo Solura come up for an interview. He can only speak Italian, and his translator Enzo Cantor couldn't get into the room, so it made for quite an interesting time.
Yeah, that was, Bernie, and unfortunately I haven't been brushing up on my Italian, so I won't be able to help out tonight with that either if he jumps up for another interview.
Yeah, well, he surprised us all when he had that translating software kick in. But anyway, folks, the grid is gridding up. We can see them, so let's go through our grid very quickly. Enzo Cantor will start from pole, Simon Schultz second, Darryl Ridley third, Solura out of fourth, Reiger will start out of fifth. 6 is Johansson, 7 Luke Whitten, Kevin Henderson sitting in 8th, Butler out of 9th, Clark out of 10th. 11th is Conroy, Constantinidu, I think I got that right, and 12th, Foster out of 13th, Matt Wright out of 14th, Alex McCullough will start out of 15th, and Jason Willman rounds out our field of 16 drivers. So while we're waiting for the guys to get ready for starters orders, Who should we be looking at for this race, do you think, guys? Okay, so...
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
No, my bad, yeah, sorry. No, well, I think we can't go much faster than Enzo. Really, I mean, he is a very, very fast driver here. Quite an aggressive driver. But, you know, that's got a good result. I think he's second or third in the Championship Series.
And we're under green now. Enzo Cantor is leading the way. And then we have Angelo Solura already up to fourth position, or third actually. And Dennis Johansson in fourth position. So it looks like a nice clean start, guys.
Yeah, it does. And Dennis has got a very high iRacing. He doesn't drive his car as much as he used to. But, you know, he's definitely one to watch. He took the win here last week. But they need to make sure that they don't let Enzo get away. He's got the raw pace here. So they really want to make sure that the sort of second, third and fourth place work together, keep on top of Enzo and just, you know, use the draft to good effect.
Yeah, and through the first chicane they go. It looks like it's pretty clean. The whole field spread out. 3 wide up the back here, but all drivers through the first chicane. At the moment, though, it's Enzo Cantor leading the way, followed by... who's that in second? 4.
Sorry, mate. Matt Wright is up on his lid and nearly over the catch fence.
Yeah, and we're trying to find him.
Huge incident. Just at the second chicane, buddy.
That's all right. Let's jump back at the replay of that, and we could see his car was heavily damaged. So we're having a look now at Matt Wright on the replay. And I guess this chicane, this was one we were talking about earlier, wasn't it, Luke?
Yeah, mate. Unfortunately, in the early race I did, first lap incident, I had one almost exactly the same as that, but I got rear-ended coming into the first lot there. So yeah, it's a bit of a bottleneck with these cars, and unfortunately they don't like a bit of a hit like that one has.
Yeah, and that was Jason Willman involved in that, both heavily into the fence. But as we come back to live pictures now, we have Enzo Cantor in the lead, Simon Schultz second, third is Dennis... No, I'm waiting for my overlays to update. I'm going to restart our overlays, guys.
Yep, not a problem. I think you're up to 4. So Angelo Tallura in 4th, Dennis Johansson in 5th, Luke Whitten in 6th, Anton Rieger in 7th, Henderson in 8th, and Timothy Butler 9th. Ben Connery is rounding out our top 10 at the moment.
And Anton Rieger just made a move there. And something's happened to Dennis Johansson as well. He's dropped back a fair ways.
He's got a bit of a battle on here, Bernie, with Luke Whitten, and someone's gone around another one on its roof.
Yeah,
another big crash coming out of that.
That's Dennis Johansson. I was just saying he dropped back through the field and he's found himself sitting there on his lid. But up the front, it is the Europeans. Enzo Cantor leading the way over Simon Schultz, and Darryl Ridley's trying to hang on to them, but they're getting a bit of a gap. And they've got a very big gap over Angelo Solura at the moment, back here in 4th position.
Yeah, I'm just riding on board with Darryl at the moment there. It's good to see him up the front. There's someone who's been just getting faster and faster and faster, and yet somehow his results kind of not match the speed that he has. So I'm really hoping that he can just stay with these front guys and get a good result for himself tonight. He really has deserved it.
Yeah, he certainly does, and if anything, or history's anything to go by, we know the Europeans, they like to up the tempo as this race goes on. So Darryl's got to make sure he can hang on to the back of these two, otherwise they're going to get away from him.
Yeah, definitely, Bernie. They seem quite strong in these open wheelers, so definitely got their hands full up the front trying to keep up with him.
See now, Simon Schultz has gone... no, sorry, God, I'm having a rough one tonight. Enzo Cantor still leading the way over Simon Schultz in 2nd. I thought they'd have passed each other.
Yeah, very similar paint schemes there, Bernie, so not hard to get them mixed up with the white and the red, but definitely this battle was good last week, and they had an unfortunate coming together at one point. Oh, and there's another car in its lid at the same chicane over and over about 7 or 8 times. It's Craig Foster with a huge incident. I can't believe it, Bernie. There's been that many cars on their roof already. We're only 3 laps in.
Yeah, well, we said before the broadcast we thought that was going to be the trouble spot, but I didn't think it'd be giving them that much trouble. As we're having a look at the replay now with Craig Foster, he's all alone as he's coming into the chicane, so I'm not sure oh no, here he goes. He's making a move on the 13 by the looks of it. No, which the number 12, we'll get a name of that, has come flying on the inside through there and basically put him on his lid. So that was a pretty ambitious move, and that was Harry Constantinou.
Yeah, and just watching again, he's taking a big dive in there, Bernie, and just got tangled.
It looks like while we're looking at that replay, Simon Schultz has taken the lead this time, but Enzo Cantor's right on his tail. That's also allowed Darryl Ridley to close in.
Yeah, that was a very good move by Simon, but this is all playing into Darryl's hands really. The more these two fight, the better.
Riding on board now with Darryl Ridley as they go over the back section into the trouble spot of this race, and we can see now it looks like Enzo's taken back that lead and Darryl's tucking in behind Simon. So the guys are definitely putting on a good show for us tonight, Ian.
Yeah, our top drivers, I'm kind of wondering why I didn't join the race myself, to be quite honest. This is a track where I've had a bit of a checkered history with. I just thought, no, I'm just going to not do it. But, there's a lot of fun racing to get in these cars at these tracks. The chicanes definitely are the trouble spot. But, they can make or break your race if you can find the right line through. There is a lot of time to be gained, especially through the first chicane.
Yeah, and the thing is with the chicanes, they often lead onto a straight, so you really have to, I think they're key to getting a fast time around Zolder. Would I be correct in that theory, Luke?
Yeah, Bernie, that's right. I found a lot of time was lost or gained through those chicanes, as Ian was mentioning before, and there's not a lot of places to draft around here, as Enzo's under big pressure coming into the sleeping corner. This corner here particularly is quite critical to get a nice run into this first chicane, and you might have a look up the inside, so we'll just stick with this for a sec as he goes to the outside.
Yeah, and Enzo's covered him off there as they go through the chicane and up the, I guess you could call that the back chute. I'm not sure what they call that.
Yeah, and as you can see there, Enzo cut that corner about as much as you want to in one of these cars without ripping the floor pan off it, and managed to get about a car's length coming up over that rise. So definitely just needs to watch out there and get his exit spot on.
Yeah, it's very easy to lose the front wing on these cars. It's not worth as much a lap as you might think, though. It's a couple of tenths as Simon and Enzo go side by side through the corner there. But that can be quite damaging if you're really trying to keep up with the guys in front. So if you haven't got a drafting partner, you really want to hang on to that front wing.
Yeah, and that's what Darryl's trying to do, isn't he? While these two guys are battling, he's closing in. But I've also noticed, I'm not sure if you guys picked it up, but Enzo Cantor doesn't have a front wing on that car anymore.
Oh, well, here you go, just what I was talking about. It's very, very easy to lose that, particularly through the first chicane. Been there, done that a few times.
And meanwhile, down here in fourth position, we've got Angelo Salura and Luke Whitten's hanging on to the back of him in fifth position. And sixth is Kevin Henderson. He's a fair ways down now. Just having a look, 2.8 seconds down from Luke Whitten at this stage with 9 laps to go.
I think Darryl might have a look here. Oh no, he's just backed out of it, but playing a wise race here, I think he could have made a little bit more ground on the number 4 car, but just keep him behind, maybe hoping for the incident.
Yeah, as Simon had a look on the outside and Enzo just cut his nose off there, showing him he wanted the line, and I tell you what, these guys in the skippies, they don't hold anything back, do they?
No, they really don't. These cars are a little fragile, but the series continues to attract some of the fastest drivers on the series. So I think there's perhaps a little more attrition, and there's talk about it on the forums quite frequently, more so than this week. A little bit more attrition with these cars than you might like because they are a bit fragile, but we keep coming back because the racing is so good.
Yeah, and they definitely turn it on for us week in, week out, which is why this series is so popular amongst the viewers at RRTV, and they seem to enjoy this as Enzo once again comes across the line. This is their 6th lap, but Simon Schultz has got the draft looking on the outside. Is this a place they can make a pass here, Luke?
Yeah, we're about to see Bernie as he goes a long way around, but that'll set him up for this long right-hander double apex round here for turn 2. And he's got the move done there, and Enzo's got to be careful. His bloke behind him there almost running into him, but yeah, they've definitely got to be careful. He's done the switcheroo there. Good old crossover, or the over and under as we like to call it, and he's back up the inside again for turn 3.
And this is helping Darryl. He's having a look now. Well, they're down there fighting. He's taken the wide line. 3 wide coming down the back here into the chicane.
Geez, I thought that was going to end in tears. I really did. Turn 1 is quite a difficult place to make a pass, and that was exceptional driving by Simon and by Enzo there, because there's quite strange camber in the road for that section of the track. I think Simon was very generous of how much room he gave Enzo there, but they've all managed to come through it okay.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying earlier about, Darryl on the outside, you don't want to try it there, but Simon's through again, and this is what I was saying, folks. As the laps go down, the European drivers turn up the wick, and that's what we're seeing here, as Simon and Enzo are just fighting. But while they do that, that's really helping Darryl just sit back there and hope these two have a bit of a coming together.
Yeah, and even 4th and 5th there, Bernie, we can just start to see that gap closing in as well, so we could have a 5-car battle for the lead by the end of it, as they have another look here. Simon up the inside of Enzo, or Enzo up the inside of Simon, one of the two, into that last chicane. Back on the straight, but Enzo's got a pretty bad run out of that last corner, and it's allowing Simon to stick right up behind him here.
Yeah, I think Enzo's struggling with that last chicane, just not quite getting the line or the exit right, and allowing both drivers behind to close up on him.
Yeah, so do you think that would be the missing front wing causing that issue, Ian?
Maybe, but probably not. I think he's just struggling with the pressure of the race here a little bit. No disrespect, obviously a very fast driver. But no, I wouldn't expect the front wing to make much difference through there, to be honest.
And I guess, Luke, with your experience in Formula Ford, I don't think those things carry any front wing at all, do they?
No, that's right, Bernie. Yeah, we don't run any aero on the Formula Fords. It's all mechanical grip. So, yeah, in these skippies, it probably wouldn't be hindering it too much. As you can see, they run a pretty flat blade on these skippies. So, really, they're not going to do a hell of a lot compared to, say, a Star Mazda or Formula Renault or something like that.
And I guess that's the whole point of these cars as a driver development tool, isn't it? That the guys have to really learn how to drive them and handle a car that's not going to have a huge amount of downforce like the Star Mazdas and the DPs and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right, and also it just gives you one less thing to think about with your setup as well. Like if anyone's ever had a look through one of these things, which I'm sure they have in the setup menu, it's only really tyre pressures and front and rear roll bars you can adjust, and without that rear wing, the front wing there, it's probably maybe make the car slightly understeery, but that's about it. And unfortunately, obviously in these cars you can't adjust your front and rear bars on the fly, so you're stuck with whatever you set it at to start off with.
Six laps to go in this race, folks, and the top two are still battling it out. Darrell's just hanging on. Angelo Solera, Luke Whitten, they were closing. They've just dropped back a little bit as they battle on. Looking at the cars that have come to grief tonight, Dennis Johansson, we saw him roll earlier. Matt Wright also on his lid. Anton Reiger, he's come unstuck there somewhere. And we've had 2 retirements at this point. That's Jason Willman and Craig Foster have both retired from this race.
Yeah, and I'm just riding on with Simon, and I think there's no question that these 2 at the front here have just decided to put their differences aside for a few laps and try to sort of regain a bit of a gap before they kick off again. So I would expect them maybe with a couple of laps to go to start fighting again, but I think they're trying to extend their lead a little bit now.
Yeah, we seem to see this tactic with the European drivers when they have a group, they put down the pedal, as you said, and they just try to split that group up so that it increases their odds of getting a higher finish, I guess it is, and it's a good tactic to do. And as we can see now, that's what Enzo and Simon appear to be doing, but Darrell's just hanging on in the background there.
Yeah, and a huge blink out there from Enzo. He was gone from me for a good 10 seconds or so. I don't know if he disappeared for you guys as well, but that can be terribly off-putting if you're in Simon's position.
Oh yeah, it can be hugely off-putting, especially if you're that close and dueling. I guess, one thing they can be comfortable with is, I guess, both being from Europe, they've probably got a very similar ping rate, so that should cut down any net server issues or net code issues between the 2.
Yeah, I think that's right. I was looking at the ping times actually, and it looks like we're hosted on a US server, so ping times across the field are about the same, but sort of the 1 to 200 millisecond mark. So yeah, Simon just sort of, you can hear him backing out, he's thinking about going around the outside, and Enzo just wondering what he's going to do, and then both of them just decide to get in line and just go straight through.
Yeah, so with 5 laps to go, I'm going to put this question to both of you. We'll start with Luke. Luke, if you're in this race, which position would you want to be in, and where would you be looking at trying to make a pass?
I reckon I'd like to be in 3rd place here, Bernie, with Darrell. Watching these 2, and after what happened last week with them, a few of them getting together, I reckon he'd be a good chance, as we saw a couple of laps ago, where some of them went to make the move around turn 1 and then he almost followed him through. I reckon that'd be the best way to do it. Just hang back, and as he forces Enzo wide, or they both run off somewhere, and then just follow either through the corner and try and get round them that way.
Okay, and what about you, Ian? Which position would you prefer to be in, and on what lap or where would you be looking at making a move to try to win this race?
Well, I had a bit of a smile to myself about the comment from last week, but of course last week I was in 1st place when the carnage broke out. Yeah, for me, I think in 3rd place is a good spot to be right now. If Darrell could just hang on to these front 2 guys, it would be great if Darrell just get his foot down a little bit more and apply a little bit of pressure and try and force a mistake from me. Yeah, I think 3rd is a good spot to be right now for sure. And I'd be sitting here probably last lap. I think I would just leave it to the last lap, try and force the issue.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on Darrell as he just has a look on the inside there, and that's forced Simon into an error there, and Simon goes around. Yeah,
and the first chicane strikes again. And the gap now to Enzo is, I think, probably going to be a little bit much for Darrell to catch up to. But I don't know. I guess at this point now we'll see what sort of effect that front wing missing on Enzo's car might have. If Darrell can just settle into a pattern, just forget that he's in a race and just pretend it's a time trial, then maybe he's got a chance.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Darrell did a good job there to avoid Simon as we look at the super slow-mo, and Darrell had to go through the sand there to avoid that incident.
Yeah, I watched that. That was good reactions. Maybe tonight is going to be his night for getting that top 3 position that he's deserved. I was talking about earlier. I was looking at Angelo here, and he's starting to catch up to Darrell, and maybe these 2 can draft each other and be sensible. But with only sort of 2 or 3 laps left now, time is running short to catch Enzo.
Oh, as Darrell gets a big drift through turn 1 there, Luke.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, normally when we do our drive days, we tell them if the car gets to that kind of point and you've got about 90 degrees steering lock, you may as well just hit the brakes and lock it up, but he's managed to catch that one somehow.
Yeah, I know when the skippies start to go like that, it's really hard to correct them, and he's done a really good job there to hang on to it. But what that incident's done, it looks like it's freed Enzo up. He's got a gap of 2.8 seconds last time across the line, and Darrell is really vulnerable here to Angelo Solura.
Yeah, Darrell looking a little bit sketchy for that first chicane. I'm just looking as we go past. Darrell might have lost his front wing as well, I suspect. I don't know.
Darrell's going to have to be careful here, but Angelo, he just tucks back in, and I was expecting Angelo to have a dive through there.
Yeah, Darrell, I just wonder if he's heated his tyres up. You don't really get tyre wear on these cars, they're street tyres. But, you know, if you have a real big slide like Darrell did, they do heat up for a little while, and you need to adjust to that. There's a big dive down the inside, and I think that's contact there. I think so.
Yeah, there was contact twice, once on the dive in, and then a second bit of contact to just reinforce the issue there as we were riding on board with Angelo, and Angelo straight in the pits.
Well, I wonder if he's picked up a meatball then. It's quite a strange place to pit. He's not going to need fuel, you wouldn't think, not unless he's forgot to put fuel in for the qualifying. That might have happened. It doesn't seem likely, though. I don't think he would have made such an aggressive passing effort if he knew he was going to be pitting on this lap. So I guess he's got a bit of suspension damage from that contact.
Yeah, well, he went in pretty heavily and he hit the side pod. You can just see his car wobbling there as it's slowing down. Hit the side pod, and then they clashed wheels again as Darrell came back onto the track. So, wow, bit of action going on the last lap or so, Luke.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as what we saw last week, Bernie, as these two are still continuing with Darrell still under a bit of pressure here, and looks like he's guaranteed a podium, but yeah, that incident was definitely a bit strange, but yeah, it's not very hard to get a meatball in these cars, I don't think, Bernie. They're a bit fragile, as we said earlier.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, banging wheel to wheel, I'm surprised Darrell didn't get any damage though, but it's good news for Mr. Ridley.
It is, but he's got his hands full of Luke here. I'm just watching Darrell in front now, and he's just struggling with line and braking a little bit, so I wonder if there's something wrong with that car.
And they're just about to come around for the penultimate lap here, so white flag will be out, and there'll be one more lap for Enzo to wrap up the win tonight, and also for Darrell to hang on to this second place position on the podium.
And I'll tell you what, Luke's going to race him right down to the finish here for that second position.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He's given it all he's got, and being the last lap, he'll definitely, I reckon, have a look into the first chicane, I'm guessing, or maybe turn 3 if he gets a decent run out of 2.
As we ride on board now with Luke Whitten, we'll stay with this view, folks, just to see up until the chicane, just to see if Luke can get a bit of a run on Darrell here.
Oh, he's had a bit of a slide there. That's not going to help his cause. And Hampety's run a little bit out of 3. That's where I thought he needed to be pretty solid out of there. But a little bit of draft is helping. I don't think he's going to be close enough. He won't throw the nose in here. And this is where he needs to get a good run. He needs to be on the gearbox here and then throw the nose in at this infamous chicane.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he's thought better at that, I think.
Yeah, so he's running out of options. I guess he's got the next move is the hairpin, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. And then we get the final chicane.
If he can get a really good exit here. No, just don't put that.
Yeah, I think he's just fallen victim to what a lot of us do, Bernie, and just overdriving the car, trying to get a move done near the end as Enzo takes the win.
Yeah, so Enzo Cantor takes round 9 of the Monday night Skip Lights, I got it all mixed up there, here at Zolder. Well done to Mr. Cantor. Second, Darryl Ridley, followed very closely by Luke Whitten. But Simon Schultz, he's come back to hang on to fourth. But I tell you what, Kevin Henderson, he was really pressuring him there, and that was a good result for Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's one of those drivers I kind of look at a little bit like Darryl, in that his raw pace doesn't seem to be reflected in the results. So I think that's got to happen. It's got to happen at some point.
Oh, and there's contact between Angelo Solura, and that was Russell Clark. Russell didn't have any nose on that car, and he's clouded him right on the finish line. So we might see if we can find out what's happened there. So just going to have a quick look at the replay further back to see. We can see here Russell Clark's following Angelo Solura up the back into the final chicane, deep under brakes, no contact yet.
Apparently someone was just complaining there, Bernie, about being hit. I think he might have a slowdown or something, and the other guy was reading the text chat and just ran straight up the back of him.
Yeah, that was Angelo Solura slowing down, and Russell just ran straight into the back of him at full speed there. And I thought there might have been more to it, but there wasn't, thank goodness.
No, it was after the finish as well, so luckily it doesn't affect their races. But Angelo with the voice chat was quite funny. Obviously a bit of limited English there, but it's quite funny to listen to.
It certainly is quite interesting to try to hear someone who can't speak English communicating, but I'm sure the tone normally is the same amongst many languages. So,
yeah, I don't think anybody's in any real doubt what he thought.
So let's go through the final positions, folks. Enzo Cantor wins tonight's race. Darryl Ridley, fantastic drive there in second. Luke Whitten, another fantastic drive, coming home in third. Simon Schultz, after that hit in the chicane, managed to recover back to fourth position. Kevin Henderson, a great drive there. One of the quiet achievers tonight, coming home in fifth position. Timothy Butler, sixth. Ben Conroy, seventh. Constantinoidou finishes in 8th position. We saw him in a bit of strife earlier tonight. Alex McKellar finishes in 9th, and then Angelo Solura after that failed passing attempt. He had to get a quick repair to fix that steering, and he came home in 10th. 11th position, Russell Clark, followed by Johansson in 12th. Ryger comes home in 13th, and Matt Wright home in 14th. Jason Willman unfortunately retired, and so did Craig Foster. So looking at that, guys, though, there was quite a few drivers in trouble. I'm counting about 7 that had issues out there tonight.
Yeah, and that's the nature of this track, unfortunately. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about not racing tonight, but when I look at the carnage on the track, I think, well, likely it's not. I'd have been a part of some of that, and I've donated enough racing for a while. So it's a tough track. The chicanes cause the cars to bunch up, and the curves here are very high. Someone said that when they scanned the track, maybe they were racing GT3 that weekend and not open wheelers, but it's very easy to pick up damage, and it's very easy to turn the car around, and I think that's what we've seen tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and these light cars definitely launch on those when they hit those ripple strips, but we'll bring up our race winner, and that's Enzo Cantor. Hi Enzo, welcome to RRTV's commentary box, and congratulations on another win in the Skip Barber Monday Lights Racing Series.
Thank you, Bernie. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, it's great to have you back as well. And looking at that race, Simon Schultz was definitely giving you a hard time there for probably 3/4 of that race.
Oh yes, it was not an easy race this time, because I knew that Simon was very fast at this track. Many times he beat me in practice, in qualifying during last races, and so I knew that it would be very hard. And as I knew, he was really near me, and I'm very happy because it was a really good, close and clean battle. And I'm very sorry because he did a mistake that caused he he went out of the race on that curb. I'm very sorry because I was expecting last laps as very hot last laps.
Yeah, from the commentary booth we could see the temperature of the race rising, and I wasn't surprised that there was an incident, but I'm just glad that you and Simon did not tangle and only Simon dropped back there.
Oh yes, it was a very correct race. We race always together, side by side in many corners, and we cross our lines many times, but no contact, no incident. But I know Simon is a good, fast and clean and correct driver, so I didn't expect nothing different about that. I was watching to Selura because I know he is in the first position of the championship, and I think it was not so smart because he had to keep the third position. He would keep the second, and he finishes his race, and so I think he has not. He lost many chances to win the championship, I think.
Yeah, he was actually gaining on the top three. That was Darryl, Simon, and yourself. But unfortunately, he came into the hairpin up the top of the circuit inside Darryl, and they locked wheels. And it appears that he had some sort of suspension damage, which means he had to pit. So unfortunately, Angelo came home in 11th tonight. Which won't be very good for his championship, that's for sure. So before we let you go, Enzo, I'm going to see if Luke Emerton has any questions for you.
No, I think you covered it, Bernie, and just congratulations again, Enzo, and good to see the regulars coming back to the series and giving us some great racing as always every week.
Thank you, Luke. I have to say thanks, as always, to my sponsor, Trustmaster TRL, and my team and my teammate Fabio Mantellini, that is the chief of Mivano Racing. And I don't know if Jan Bevan is here. I can't hear him. I want to say hello to him because in the last race we had a contact. I hope he knows that I didn't hit on purpose, but it was only a racing accident. I have much respect of him, and I hope in next better race for us.
So Ian,
I'm here. Sorry, I was just on the wrong channel there. So yeah, no problem, mate. No problem. It happens in racing, and I was pretty dark about it at the time, having got myself into pole position, but it was just one of those nights for me. But I'll be back next week, so hopefully, if you're around next week, we'll see what we can do to put on a show for everybody at Oldham Park.
Oh yes, Jan. I hope to battle with you in the next race because I think we can have a lot of fun and give a lot of fun to all the spectators of the race.
Yeah, you're on.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in, Enzo, and as always, it's a pleasure to talk to you, and we'll catch up with you in a week's time.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I'm trying to win this championship. It's not so easy, but I will be less aggressive than I am many times because in this championship the second place, the third place, the fourth place are important as the first. So I have to calm my blood and race with my brain.
Yeah, well, it looks like after the points tonight are tallied, you should have taken the lead of the points championship tonight, but we'll be able to confirm that next week. So anyway, Enzo, thanks for popping in. We will see you next week, and I hope you have a good week over there in Europe.
Thank you, you too. Bye Bernie, bye Luke, and see you again soon.
So folks, that was our round 9 race winner, Enzo Cantor there. And he speaks English very well, doesn't he, Luke?
Yeah, and I think I might have to brush up on my Italian for next week so I can try at least maybe say something and sound a bit smarter, but all I really know is ciao, and I didn't even get to say it before he got moved out. But it's all good. I'll work on some sort of sentence tomorrow for next week and see if I can impress him somehow.
Well, that was better than what I was going to do when he was leaving. I was going to say buongiorno, which I think must be hello or something.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, it's, yes, and ciao bella, something like that, is like, see you goodbye or something, I don't know.
Well, I actually got a holiday up in Europe in about 8 weeks' time. We are, in fact, going to be spending a few days in Italy, so I'll learn a few words. I might have to learn slightly different words for the race, I think. I'll see what I can find out. Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, maybe you should organise a bit of a catch-up while you're over there and go and have whatever they drink in Europe.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah. Well, anyway, folks, we're getting to the end of our broadcast tonight of the Monday night skips. But if you like your Pro-Am action, RRTV will be back with you Wednesday night at 9:15 p.m. to cover the Australian Sports Car Pro-Am. And that's looking quite exciting with the DPs, the GT1s and the GT3s. We had a look at the schedule. They're going to be racing at Sebring. So that always brings on the action. So if you like that, tune in Wednesday night, 9:15 p.m. And then on the weekend, the big one, the second round of the Australian Endurance Championship will be broadcast again live on RRTV, and that's the Bathurst 12 Hour. And I know a lot of guys are pretty keen to get their teeth into that race. We will be coming to you live for that race at 8:30 a.m. Sunday morning. We will be broadcasting till 12 p.m. Sunday lunchtime. We will then come back again, I think it's 3 o'clock till 4 o'clock for a mid-race update, and then we're live from 6:30 till the end of that race Sunday night. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm quite keen to watch that, and I'm probably looking to run a different series or so. I've been in the skips now for about 5 years, and a number of occasions I've promised myself to go and do something else. So watching how some of the other cars behave and getting to know some of the top drivers from the other series as well, I'm dead keen.
Fantastic, and I think you'll be driving in that, Luke.
Yeah, I'll be taking the All-Star Motorsport Chevrolet DP round again after a decent finish. I think we got 8th in the Daytona 24 Hour, and the team's been working pretty hard on a setup for this week and did some practice earlier on today. So official practice starts Thursday, and I'm sure we're going to hit that up pretty much every night leading up to that one on Sunday. So I'll probably be jumping in at some point like I did during the 24 Hour and just say hi and give us an update on how everything's going.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. And for those that are new to the Australian Endurance Championship, it's a multi-class race. The Class A is HPD, Class B is the Corvette C7 DP, and then Class C is the GT3 class. So if you liked the real Bathurst 12 Hour, definitely tune in and have a look at how iRacing does it. But anyway, guys, it's getting to the end of the night. Before we go, though, the question is, do we have a drive of the night?
Well, I'm going to go for Darryl. I mean, it was a good drive. He hung on to that second spot. He had the raw pace, and I think he's got that top result that he deserves.
What about you, Luke?
Yeah, I was going to say the same, mate. He did really well to keep up with Enzo and Simon for pretty much that whole race, and then in the end hold off that last final attack to keep his second spot on the podium. So yeah, I'll give it to Darryl as well. That was an excellent drive to be able to keep up with two of the quickest drivers there, really, in Europe. So
Yeah, well, I'll agree with you because it's two people to one. But I'd also like to give a shout out to Kevin Henderson coming home there in 5th position, and he's had a bit of bad luck in this series, and it looks like his fortune turned his way tonight, which was good to see. But anyway, folks, it's that time when we say goodnight. So on behalf of Luke Hamilton and Ian Bevan, I'd like to thank all our viewers out there who tuned in to RRTV, and I'm Bernie Weemers, and we wish you good night.